Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Mercury is no longer retrograde. Hallelujah. I know I felt it. It's like, what the heck? Things were just not moving the way and the speed that I thought they would. So I kind of feel stuck. But I'm starting to feel, things are moving along a little bit. Maybe you are too. So I'm just happy that it's no longer retrograde. I think especially for people who are really sensitive to energy and they feel deeply, these astrological times can be heavy, can be, difficult to navigate through. But it's also important to remember that they're not here to stay. Things are continuously moving and changing. So today, we launched our Mind, Body, Soul membership program. Today was the first session. So this week's focus was mind focus. So I want to share a few highlights of the session today. We learned how the ego is formed from when we come out of our mother's womb. We cry our head off, that's for sure. But we realize that the comfort, the safety, the love the cocooning that we felt has been taken away from us. Maybe that's why we cry. And so immediately we think it's my fault. I had it really good. I screwed it up. Here it is. Focus on me, the ego. So when the ego is there, then we look around, we see things, we see many different things. And when we look at ourselves in the mirror, then we realize the difference between me and you, the difference between night and day, the difference between this and that, the difference between good and bad. And, our caretakers and our parents, because they know the same thing, that's what they know. They teach us, this is good, this is bad, don't do this, no. So we learn, and we need to learn many things. But the problem isn't the ego or its formation. The problem is when we continue to believe that that's all we are. So ego mind, that whatever I think, it must be. We actually begin to believe our thoughts. And so the tool is to not to believe our thoughts, but to observe the thoughts. Think of the mind as a TV screen. When you sit on the couch, you push the button on and the screen is continuously changing to make a story. So we are to observe the thoughts in the mind the same way. This observation is done with eyes closed, so you can be a little bit more internally focused. So close your eyes, take 5 minutes, take a minute, turn the phone off, just find a quiet place and just close your eyes and see what goes on in your head. And we tend to think that mind thoughts is here because this is the head, the brain part. The mind actually is a sheath all over our organism. It's an energetic sheath that has mental energy. So mind energy, mind is everywhere. But the head or the brain, I don't know the scientific process, but it must cognize that information to give us a signal that there is a thought. But we point to the head because that's where we think that we are thinking. But mind, the thoughts are happening in the body. That's why our thoughts become things. That's one thing. But what I wanted to say that our biography, the stories that we tell ourselves, becomes our biology. Our psychology becomes our physiology. So mind and body are connected. So what is the takeaway is that we are here to observe the thoughts, not believe them. Don't believe everything you think. And when we observe the thoughts, you may come to know that these most of the thoughts are repetitive. It's the same thing, repeating again and again and again, because it's energy that is seeking to be freed. When we feel the thoughts again and again and again, instead of examining them and doing and freeing the thoughts, we push them away because it's unpleasant. Secondly, we don't know what the heck to do. So we push the thoughts away. It's like pushing the energy away. When we push something away, what do? We create a bigger momentum. When we resist something, it continues to persist. So the more we push the thoughts away, the thoughts come even stronger. The more we say, don't think that thought, we exactly think that thought. Is saying, don't think about ice cream. Well, guess what? You're going to think about ice cream, and you're going to keep thinking about it until you go eat it. So you don't want to say don't. You rather say, let's think about going for a walk, right? So go for a walk. That's a better way to handle the repetitive thoughts in the mind. And another thing to do is just make it a daily practice. Make it a daily practice, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Sit on the couch, sit on somewhere comfortable. You can sit on the toilet seat. You can sit in the car, not while driving. The truth is, we can examine our mind at any place. We don't need anything else. It's with us all the time. And just simply close your eyes. Close your eyes and do it with the intention of that I'm just going to sit and see what happens, and be amused at the stuff that goes on in the mind. It's important to understand the nature of the mind because we have it. Why it's important to understand the nature of the mind? Because mind is the biggest culprit in so much of our suffering. We continue to be the prisoner of our own mind, but we need to understand the nature of the mind so we know what to do with it. The nature of the mind is that it is a monkey mind. Your mind, my mind, universal mind. And we are not just talking, mind is energy. We cannot compartmentalize ourselves like in this box, you are in that box. There's no boxes. It's free. It's open. So we pick up other people's thoughts and other people's energy. That's why it's important to pay attention to where the heck are you hanging out and who are you hanging out with. What are you picking up from them? That's why we make a choice to do that. So understand the nature of your mind. When you take a minute to self-examine, then you will realize the monkey nature of the mind, which means it's jumping from thought to thought to thought. That's the nature. It's not just my nature or your nature, it's a universal thing. Because the point is to direct the mind, to redirect the mind, to train the mind so the mind becomes our servant, not our master. In that sense, mind can become a tool. So just do this one thing. Do a 5-minute practice or 1-minute practice of being quiet, uninterrupted, just to check in what's happening in your head, what's happening in your mind, and take a notebook, write it down. You may do that 3 days, 4 days, 7 days, and realize, oh my God, 90% of my thoughts are repetitive. I'm stuck on this one thing. Then we can move further, move from that place and see, okay, what do we do with that? Why is it that you continue to have that repetitive thought again and again and again? But we must be aware. So to observe the mind is to become aware of the nature of the mind, because then it'll come in handy as to what the heck to do with it. All right, so this kind of guidance and wisdom and answers are provided in this Mind, Body, Soul membership program. Next week, our focus is going to be body, how to nourish, take care of the body, from nutrition to yoga to movement and everything in between. So I teach for 30 minutes and we have 30 minutes for Q&A. It was a great session today. If you are interested in becoming a member of this community, you can join anytime, cancel anytime. There's no risk, no obligation. I'm going to post a link. Go ahead and take a look. And if this interests you, you can join. This information you're not going to get from your doctor's office, your therapist's office, your teachers, your school, or from anywhere else. You're just not. These are tools. These are ancient wisdom tools, time-tested tools that generations of people, our ancestors, have used and have been successful. There was no anxiety, depression, and all the mental disorders that we're experiencing today because they had the wisdom. What the world needs is wisdom, not knowledge. So I also walk you through some quick exercises, some quick meditations so you get the experience of it. If you're interested, the link will be here somewhere around the video or in my profile on the Instagram. Take a look and join if this resonates with you. All right. See you next week. Bye-bye.